Yeah. Right. So basically, we're gonna be stuck at home for about another month or a year. Yeah. Well, that sucks. Well, anyway, I guess I'll call you later. All right. Bye bye. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you there. Well, since I'm on video, might as well talk about some more old tech. And today, we're gonna talk about probably the very first piece of tech that I've personally owned, which is my first smartphone, the HTC Glacier, otherwise known as the T-Mobile MyTouch 4G. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so just to give you a little bit of context here, this is my current smartphone, which is the OnePlus 7 Pro. And this is my first phone. Side by side, you can see immediately the differences here. Alright, so first, let's start off with the screen. It has a 6.67-inch AMOLED display. This, back in 2010, is a 3.8-inch 480 by 800 pixel LCD screen. And unfortunately, I can't turn it on because, well, one, the battery slot is broken for a year. And, two, I can't find the charger. So, you're gonna have to take my word for it in terms of the display. But, yeah, that was 2010 tech for displays back in the day. Now, on towards the next thing, let's start with the cameras. So my current phone has a 48, 16, and 8 megapixel triple camera for your main telephoto and wide optical zoom camera. This has a single camera, which is a 5 megapixel with autofocus, which is actually pretty advanced given the time period, and it can record 720 pixels at 30 fps, which is not what you say is HD quality, but it's still viewable. Alright, now let's get on to the processor and the storage. Now, the OnePlus 7 Pro comes with a Snapdragon 855 processor, which is the 2019 spec, and it comes with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. Now, compare that to this little guy. This came with a Snapdragon S2 processor, and it had, 768 megabytes of RAM and 4 gigabytes of storage. Yeah, I don't think that would be be considered a bare minimum for today's smartphones. So yeah, but this was 2010 tech, so you know, it was fine back then. So another thing about the screen, not only was it a LCD 3.8-inch 480 by 800 pixel display, but it had a 5:3 aspect ratio and 246 ppi or pixels per square inch display, which given today's smartphones is kind of low resolution, but given this was 2010 tech, it was passable. It was doable. There was no such thing back in 2010. There was no such thing as AMOLED or LED displays. Are you kidding me? No, LCD was the norm. This, I would say, is about the size of like an iPod. If you guys know what iPods were. It's probably the smallest smartphone you'll see. In fact, I don't think any current smartphones are even this tiny. But yeah, it's nice to feel a light, small device. It's really refreshing, and the fact that it even has buttons on the bottom. So on the leftmost side, we have our home button, which is actually kind of a novelty given that our smartphones don't even have buttons. Yeah, but on the leftmost side, you have your home button. Then to the right of that, you have your tab button to go through different tabs or apps. Then to the right of that, you have a dedicated back button, which is like a godsend button, because yeah, with our Android devices, you have to like flip out, like you have to like press from the bottom up, swipe up to get like the back button to show up. Or having a dedicated back button is like the best thing ever. And the rightmost button is actually our HTC Go button. And if you don't know what that is, and I'm suspecting most of you don't, it's really a very basic, simple version of Apple Siri, Amazon Alexa, Google Assistants. Basically, it will show you the weather, navigation, different help settings, and so on. Which, given how much voice assistants can do nowadays, it's kind of frightening how much it can do. Having the basic settings for this, such as just show me the weather, take me to work, or so on. Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. Although this was back in 2010, which was, if you think about it, not that long ago. 10 years ago, yeah, but it wasn't that long ago. But another novel thing, given today's incredible smartphone build capability and their incredibly tight seals, is that you can actually take off the cover, or the battery cover, and revealing all the components of your phone, which current smartphones don't do that. So, if we take off the battery here, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dearie me. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see that, and the camera's catching a little bit, but the battery has been grown, enlarged, has gotten bigger, tiny bit, which I suspecting is because of either A, me overcharging my battery quite a lot back in the day, or B, just sitting there and not being used. And I'm suspecting it's both. So if we can look at our battery, it has a 1130 milliamp hour battery. Yeah, I don't think any phone nowadays has a battery that's below 25 or even 3000 milliamp hours. So yeah, 1130 milliamp hour. Pretty low. But let's see, what else do we have? We have our SD card. So we have our... Oh, I dropped it. But we have our Samsung 8GB micro SD card. Right here. I don't know. The camera's not gonna... Ah, there we go. Samsung 8GB SD card. Slot that in. And then we also have our T-Mobile SIM card. Because remember, this phone only is supported by T-Mobile. So remember, this phone was only supported by T-Mobile. So yeah, our T-Mobile SIM card. And SIM cards haven't changed too much in terms of their size and whatnot. So that's pretty normal. But the fact that you can actually open up your device and see the internals, again, a novelty compared to today's highly built, incredibly sealed smartphone. So you probably noticed that there's a smiley emoji on the back of the phone. To be honest, I don't really know why that's there. So please don't question that in the comments. Alright guys, that was your really first look into my first piece of tech that I've ever owned. And I'm curious to know, what was your first piece of tech that you guys have owned? Whether it be your first smartphone, whether it be a MP3 player. Oh gosh, that was... Man, I'm dating myself here. Or maybe it was your first Apple product, whether it be the iPod or maybe the first generations of iPhones. Let me know down in the comments below. But until then, I will see you guys in the next episode. And peace out.